All right, everybody, this is a live broadcast. As you can see from the title, we're talking Justice League. We're talking about the Snyder Cut. And you're always free to check out the chat section and go through the chat section. You know who this is. This is Ismo. It's Mo. She's got her channel on YouTube. And we got some other cosplayers, man. They went down to Warner Brothers, of course, and they enjoyed the cut of Justice League. But, of course, they were there just to show their support and say, hey, man, we want the Snyder Cut. And this little session here is to make a push towards the Snyder Cut. Definitely want to see Zack Snyder's cut out there. No ifs or buts. It was his movie. He was the director. Absolutely. I think it's definitely in everyone's best interest for Zack Snyder to have his cut come out there. So I'm looking forward to that. Absolutely. I have no doubt in my mind Warner Bros. Will try their best to satisfy the public in getting the closest possible cut that Zack Snyder has out there. I absolutely have confidence in them that they will do that. It's just when, right? Is it going to be late this year or is it going to be next year? We'll see. But I wanted to talk a little bit about that because I haven't really spent a lot of time talking about Zack Snyder's cut, or the director's cut, shall I say. And I support the people who released the Snyder cut. I don't believe in telling lies to promote this cut. I believe the cut itself will promote itself, and the people who want to see the cut will go see it. Absolutely, they'll make a way to see that cut. So yes, absolutely, I want to see the Snyder cut. Some people even want to see the Snyder cut more than they want to see Infinity War, which is pretty cool. So let me talk a little bit about the Snyder cut first of all. All of you guys in the comment section, if you guys are seeing this video right now, all of you in the comment section who want to see the Zack Snyder cut, I want you to put hashtag release the Snyder cut in the comment section. So those of you who want to see a Snyder cut, put hashtag release the Snyder cut in the chat section. Start it off by hashtag release the Snyder cut. Put that there. And we're going to take an inventory of that. Those of you who do not want to see the Snyder cut, you're good with what you have for Justice League. I want you to put in the comment section, just put Justice League. All right, just put Justice League. All right, or you can put JL. All right, so those of you who want to see the Snyder cut and you're pushing for the Snyder cut, put hashtag release the Snyder cut in the comment section. Those of you who are cool, you don't need no Snyder cut, put Justice League. Don't put any hashtag anything, just put Justice League or JL. All right, we're going to take an inventory at the end of this video. We have a lot of things to talk about in the DCEU, but I just wanted to start it off by dealing with the release of Snyder cut. Now, there's a lot of things Zack Snyder does in his movies, which I could tell Justice League, that's why I know Justice League was different, that I didn't see in Justice League. So there were a lot of things that Zack Snyder did in Justice League, and we could tell that. But there were also a lot of things that he usually does in his movies, which did not show up in Justice League. And one of the insignias of Zack Snyder that we've seen in Man of Steel, and we also saw in BVS, and this is just a straight up insignia about him, is that when Zack Snyder does, he linked Superman from Man of Steel and BVS in a specific sort of way. And I was looking forward to seeing that come to fruition in the way how, you know, the whole story would be coming full circle in his cut, but I didn't see it. I'm specifically talking about the scenes where Superman, both in BVS and in Man of Steel, in both cases, Superman, when he was declared to the world, ended up collaborating with mankind and then dealing with the situation at hand. He always had a strategy with mankind. In Man of Steel, he was the guy leading the charge. He was the guy basically telling them about the phantom drives, the approach to how to go about doing things, and then they executed. In BVS, Superman once again was leading the charge, and he was the guy asking Batman if he found the kryptonite spear. Did you find the spear? He was like, a little busy, right? They didn't talk, but they understood what needed to be done. In, however, Justice League, Superman behaved a little bit unlike himself. He was the guy that was taking charge. He was the guy that was leading the troops. But I noticed that this time he was working along with everybody else. He wasn't exactly leading the charge like he did both in BVS and Man of Steel. And when I look at the behind the scenes footage of Justice League, Superman literally was leading the charge with the Justice League. He was the guy in the front, and then the Justice League was behind him. If you look at the behind the scenes footage, even this is the point in time when Steppenwolf is being boom tubed out of there. And I'm thinking to myself, the consistency of Superman in those other two movies, even if Superman shows up late, Superman basically, he's the guy that leads the charge. And so I just found that a little bit different. Not that I hate the Justice League that I saw, but I know Zack would have probably done it a bit different. And that's why I know the ending for Justice League in the confrontation fight with Steppenwolf was different. Okay, not that much different, but there's these subtle things that you have to look at. How Superman takes charge of situations. Superman's a matter of fact kind of dude, and he takes charge of a situation, and then, you know, he works along with everybody. Don't get me wrong, but it's just he takes charge of a situation. So that kind of had me thinking, okay, that's different. Another thing that I thought was different about Justice League, which I think a lot of people also commented on, there were some gorgeous settings. I loved how they did the color palettes for the movie. It had a unique color palette. It was really good up to the point where we reached Metropolis and Superman had been resurrected. And again, that scene looked pretty good, but it's still, you could tell that the color palettes were beautiful, but I thought that it still felt artificial, and there was some things that needed touching up on that. Nice scene, though. I think where everything started to fall apart and go south was when we saw the scene, the final act with that red sky. I just think it feels incomplete. The rest of the movie is complete. You feel it after that point. Even when they're on top of the building, looking at the silo and the tower, and the flowers are growing out of the stuff, it still feels a bit incomplete. It feels kind of like those flowers and stuff just don't fit into the environment. And Zack's a guy who takes time to make everything look organic. He's if you look at Man of Steel, for instance, you would not be thinking about CGI at any point in Man of Steel, because just the way how he handles the camera, just the way how he was going for organic feel with Man of Steel, and he wowed you with the super speed. In Justice League, the super speed, especially of Superman when he's moving around and what he's doing, wasn't quite there. You know what I mean? It felt CG-ish. And the reason that stuff felt CG is because Zack didn't get to fully do the effects he does with the camera and the dust rising and all those other effects that you usually put in to finish off a movie. The color palette wasn't so bad. It was actually pretty good. It was actually beautiful. It was a beautiful color palette. I even like how the Flash was running. You saw more details of the Flash. But again, in those final acts with the Flash, not the scene where the Flash was running with Superman, that thing was beautiful. It was well done. I love everything there. But in terms of color palette, but when it comes to that third act, man, that third act is just totally incomplete. Like, they did not finish off that CG with Steppenwolf. They didn't finish off a lot of things. And if I were to talk about my pet peeves about certain things, and I know Zack's a guy, he gets it right every single time. You know, if you think about it, Doomsday it was right. I mean, Doomsday started off looking like a smooth-skinned turtle, but later on, as he started to metabolize, as he was getting blown up on all of that, and his body was pulling out the spikes, he started more and more to become like the Doomsday we know. I didn't quite get there, but I'm just saying. It's showing again that Zack, you know, when he does that finishing touch on the aesthetics, you know, that's what Zack does. He does visuals, and he does them very, very well. So I got the feeling that these incomplete visuals, even Steppenwolf when he was talking and you got that uncanny valley stuff, that's not Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder gives you that finishing touch. I'm telling you, man. When you get a finished touch to stuff, and it just didn't get at especially for the third act. I mean, there are certain acts where Steppenwolf looked a little bit weird as well, but even so, the color palettes were pretty good. But that third act, man, it just, I mean, people talk about Wonder Woman and the third act of Wonder Woman. I find the third act of Wonder Woman is just awesome. You know, the special effects, again, look dope as hell, and they feel organic. the third act of Justice League does not feel organic. I'll be honest with you. And even when Aquaman lands on the Batmobile, it says, yeah, it feels kind of fakish. Not necessarily the CGI, just the world. The world feels a bit fake. Like you feel like it's just a plain surface of ground, and then they add rocks on it instead of what we saw in the Great War, where it felt like he was in this maze of hell with lava and the ground's kicking up dust, and you see the parademons charging towards the armies of the earth. You know, it was epic, right? You didn't get that feeling when you saw Steppenwolf fighting the Justice League. You didn't get that epic feeling with the blood, the sweat, the lava, you know, that was coming out the ground, and the place looking kind of like morbid and horrid looking, and the sky looking like blood. You know what I'm saying? You know where it was going to be. And in the gorgeous colors, of course, because, you know, that's, and I feel like that I just need to see a Snyder cut for that. And then, of course, oh my God, the oh my God moments are going to come out. The oh my God moments where you just have to see all of the background for Cyborg, all of the background for Soups that we missed out, because there's more to Soups and his background. The background for, you know, Lois Lane talking to her mother, they reshot that. And then the additional scenes, you know, oh man, so much action in that final fight where, you know, Aquaman goes up and kicks some Parademon's ass, you know, Cyborg be firing his stuff. You know, I want to see it. I want to see that. I really do. So yeah, of course I want to see the Snyder cut, and I'm there with everybody else to release that Snyder cut. You got to see the Snyder cut. I don't care what nobody says. We have to see that cut. I mean, it's just, you know, and then of course, most important is that Junkie XL score. I want to see what he had for the triumphant end. I mean, we just got a taste of that in the sneak peek. And then that suspenseful drama that Junkie was working up to. I was taking in the Matrix just recently there, Matrix Reloaded and Matrix Revolutions and the Matrix, and the music's so suspenseful. And I feel like Zack Snyder and Junkie XL, they take on, in my personal opinion, they take on the same spirit of the Wachowski brothers, and they bring across that really special suspenseful music that really keeps you on the edge of your seat. You know what I'm saying? And I know, you know, Steppenwolf would have been taken up a notch, and it would be something we would really, really wanted to see, you know, when the lead clashed with Steppenwolf, you know. And so, you know, it's kind of like we've been amped for this thing since the sneak peek. And I want to see what I was really excited for originally. I mean, I knew that once you had a different director and you had a different musician, you were going to get basically a different sort of feel for the film. Even though it kind of falls in line with what it was before. But obviously, they took off that edge that the film has. And the one thing about Zack Snyder's films, he got that edge on them films. You know what I'm saying? When you look at Batman v Superman, whichever cut, theatrical or ultimate, there's that edge on it. Man of Steel, there's that edge on it. You know, that's the edge that you read in the comic books. And what I mean by edge, I mean he takes risks with characters. They fall into what they are, but he pushes these characters to their limits. You know, that's the thing I like about Zack Snyder. He puts scenarios in there to push the characters to the limit. And the reason he wants to push the characters to the limit is to let you understand that this is not only the true sense of what these people represent, but also to show you that you know, to be what these people are takes sacrifice. They go through a crucible. You know, they're purged by fire to be what they are. And I think that's very important for us today. A lot of people want to be heroes. A lot of people want to be famous, but they don't want to go through the crucible. They don't want to bear that cross. They don't want to go through the fire. And since it's Easter weekend, the end of it, you know, Jesus died and then he was resurrected on Easter. You know, that's why we celebrate at least. And the point is, he went through a crucible. He went through fire. You know what I'm saying? You want to be like, everybody want to be like Jesus. Nobody want to suffer like he suffered. You know what I'm saying? That makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? So I like that approach that Zack Snyder had. A very grounded, real approach, taking fictitious characters and making them real to us because of what they go through. And so, yeah, absolutely need to see the Snyder cut. I know it's essentially the same story, but I enjoyed the story so much. I saw this movie 10 times in the cinema. I have my own copies. I'm going to buy my own copies. I'm going to buy digital and physical, but I just had to get my money together. And in addition to that, I just want to say, before I go on, and this is why the Snyder Cut, I think, is very important. You cannot say you're releasing a cut that is under the name of a director, right? The fans are not satisfied with that cut, all right? For whatever reason. And then you're going to hold back what the director was doing and not let that director finish what he's doing so that you can get what he fully does from the beginning to the end so the fans could look at that. You can't do that. I mean, Warner Bros. Won't do it. I know Warner Bros. One thing about Warner Bros. I'm going to tell you. They try to please their fan base. They will try to give you what you want. If that's one thing about Warner Bros., you clamor to them long enough, they're going to try and give you what you want. And in this case, I do believe Warner Bros. Will honor that, and they will release Snyder's cut. And I heard Snyder also on Vero, he was excited about Aquaman, what's going to happen with Aquaman and the character coming out. So he's excited about that. And the point behind it is, Zack can't be excited. He can't. How are they going to fire Zack from these characters? And then after Zack is still talking about them and he's excited about them. Why would he be? I mean, okay, yeah, it's his babies and stuff. But I'm just saying, I don't think, first of all, I don't think Warner Bros. Fired him. But even so, if they did fire him, Zack totally loves these characters, man. That's what it tells me. And I'm just excited for Shazam and Aquaman. But in addition, I just wanted to say that, you know, I definitely am excited to see the release of Zack Snyder's full directorial direction of this movie. All right. I just want to let people know, you know, and I believe Warner Brothers will release that. They will release it. You're guaranteed that that's going to be released because there's just too much demand for that. And I don't think there's anybody, I don't care who you are. If you like Justice League, okay, some of y'all probably don't like Zack Snyder, whatever, and you like Justice League, fine. But the majority of people would never say, no, don't put out a Snyder cut. Don't put out a Snyder. The majority of people want the Snyder cut. Okay. And this group of people that you see here, they loved Justice League. They did not bash Justice League. These are guys that went into the cinema. You can see they have Justice League jerseys on. They went into the cinema. They enjoyed Justice League. They enjoyed it. They never bashed Justice League. They talked about, yes, some of them talked about stuff that was left out of the movie, but never in a negative way as to bash the movie. They were not on that. I know for sure Itzmo, she's not somebody who, as far as I see so far, she has not been speaking ill of the present cut. She supported it, and she hasn't said. So these people very respectfully asked for it. And I'm pretty sure Warner Bros. Is going to listen to those people pretty much. And they know that there's a demand for this Justice League cut with Zack Snyder head. And we definitely going to get it. And Zack keeps on hinting on, he keeps on putting up pictures and stuff and all of that stuff. And I'm just saying that, look, I don't care what nobody says. This is one of the most anticipated cuts out there. We want to see that cut. Zack Snyder's never let me down when it comes to his movies and what he puts out in his movies. I love his stuff. Okay. So everybody is in agreement with this. I think the supposed Zack Snyder fans, the real Zack Snyder fans who are pushing for the Zack Snyder cut, but haven't been just bashing Justice League. They were like, yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good. I enjoyed it. But you know, Zack Snyder, baby. That's where I land. I'm not even curious. I know when I see what Zack Snyder puts out, and hopefully with Junkie XL, what he was building up to, dude, I was like, I lost my mind just I lost my mind just thinking about this thing. So y'all just gonna have me lose my mind all over again when the Snyder cut comes out. So I'm totally for release the Snyder cut. Just to those people who don't think, you know, you don't want to see a Snyder. Are you crazy? Are you nuts? It has to come out somehow, some way, you know. And if we need to raise funds, if we as the fan base need to raise funds to make sure that Snyder cut comes out, shit, I'm putting my money there somehow, some way. You know, I really we really need to see that Snyder cut, you know. And I say between this year and next year, it has to come out, man, somehow, some way. I don't know how. Warner Brothers, hopefully the home release makes enough money that they can make sure that if there's any extra money and stuff to finish off the Snyder cut somehow, some way, it needs to still be polished up, that it gets polished up, you know. That's a beautiful sent away present for all of us, because I'm pretty sure if you're a hardcore DCEU fan, if you love everything that you saw in the DCEU, you are not going to turn down. There's no way in hell you're turning down a Snyder cut. No way in hell. Hell no. So absolutely, I am supporting the Snyder cut. Again, in the comment section, if some of you are watching this video right now, if you want to see the Zack Snyder cut, not just want, you need to see the Zack Snyder cut, please put hashtag release the Snyder cut in the comment section. I want to see how many of you in the comment section are going to put hashtag release the Snyder cut. If you're not so hyped about that, that's not a big deal. You can live with Justice League as it is. You're not dying to see it. You don't need to see a Snyder cut. Then just put Justice League or JL in the comment section, because I'm talking about this for a good period of time right now. I feel it's about time we push that cut in earnest. And I mean, I'm going to talk about releasing the Snyder cut every single day from here on in. But again, I'm not going to bash Justice League. No way, Jose. That movie was just way too cool, too good. I think it's either the #1 or the #2 best comic book movie last year. Hell no, I'm not bashing that movie. I don't care what nobody says. However, as I said before, I have criticisms of it. All right, I have criticisms of it, and I want the Snyder cut to come out, because I you know, this is what I lived for. I wanted to see that. I know when Zack Snyder puts out that cut of Justice League, that's what we were amped for. That's what we were sold on. I'm looking forward to that, man. I'm looking forward to it big time. So just to let you guys know, big anticipation. I'm pretty sure in almost all of DCEU fandom, almost everybody would agree that we want to see the Snyder cut. And for those who saying there isn't a Snyder cut, of course there is a Snyder cut, man. I was wrong about that a long time ago. After I saw Superman, the cut where it's finished cut with Superman, I started reflecting on all the stuff I saw in the trailers, all of the stuff that was completed, and I realized, no, man, there is a Snyder cut there. There's something there. And it needs a little bit of polishing up, I'm pretty sure, because Zack would had other things to do and finish it up and stuff. But definitely want to see it. I definitely not only want to see it, I want to enjoy it, because I know I'm going to enjoy it. Okay. All right. So again, if you are completely about releasing the Snyder cut, put hashtag release the Snyder cut in the comment section if you're watching this video right now. If not, put Justice League or JL in the comment section. I want to see how many of you, we're doing a survey right now, and I'll see how many of you want that Snyder cut, man, because I know I do. All right, let me just come out of this for a minute. 1 second. All right, so we got Damian Anton Vincent, and he's saying release the Snyder cut. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Dave Ethan, he rejected his message. Zod Writer said release the Snyder cut. That's what I'm talking about. Dave Ethan says Justice League and release the Snyder cut. Either way, I'm happy, man. Yeah, that means you want to release it. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. There's an exceptional fan version of Justice League called the Fan Cut that does a nice job of evoking Zack Snyder's vision. I don't get no disrespect to you, Zod Writer, but I don't give a damn about no fan cut. I really don't care about a fan cut. I watched a fan cut, and that fan cut just pissed me off, because the music that they used in the fan cut, no disrespect to nobody, but that music was just out of whack with the movie and what the movie was trying to do. So I'm just saying. Damian Anton Vincent says for Dark Side. Cyan Blue says release the Snyder cut. Okay, so we are all in unison. Everybody here, Cyan Blue, Damian Anton Vincent, Zod Writer, Dave Ethan, everybody here wants the Snyder cut. So here's what's happening, guys. Here's what's happening with that. Let me get out of this and let me show you guys my face here for a minute. Hold on a second. Let me just get out of this here. There you go. Stop this. So everybody out here wants to see the Snyder Cut, and that's big. That's huge. That's awesome. Okay. Why that's important is because I'm not one of those people who is just, I'm not just one of those people who don't want to see the Zack Snyder Cut. All right, and everybody's amped for it. But now we're gonna change gears. Those of you who have not gotten your copy of Justice League, don't forget to get your copy. There's digital copies. There's digital. There's Blu-ray. There's DVD. There's HDR. Get your copy. Right. I'm cool with Justice League. That's all well and good. I looked at Justice League. There's still more stuff for me to unpack in Justice League. I might finish unpacking that stuff probably sometime 2 years from now. But at the end of the day, besides Justice League that we're talking about, I want to talk about the Snyder Cut. The Snyder Cut. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. A Snyder Cut will just make a movie I love better. There's no reason for me to say no. Everybody here agrees. Trent Osborne included. Shout out to you, Trent. And by the way, I want to feature one of your comments between The Dark Knight and Justice League. I want to feature that, or Superman's arc. I want to feature that in one of my videos. But yeah, everybody who is a DCU fan, they unanimously agree they want the Snyder Cut. So here's what we need to do. Everybody in this feed agrees that they want the Snyder Cut, and that's serious. So we're going to take this up a notch. We're going to change gears, and we're going to intensify this. And every time now, from here on in, I do a video, you guys leave a comment in the comment section. Leave below hashtag release the Snyder Cut. It doesn't matter what it is. Every single comment, whether you're on Twitter, wherever you are, it's hashtag release the Snyder Cut. If the entire of the DCU fandom is united in this, we're going to get that movie sooner than later. Okay. And here's what we do. Of course, everybody's dollars are going to go into the release the Snyder Cut. All of us are going to buy it. So here's what we do. Any video I put out from here on in, I'm going to talk something about Zack Snyder's cut. I'm going to mention something about Zack Snyder. Every single video from here on in. And if you guys have channels, if you guys have venues like Dave Ethan, you got the Google group, whatever it is, you put after you mention Snyder's cut. You mention hashtag release the Snyder Cut at the end of anything you do. That's what we're doing from here on in. We started with this channel. I got my Justice League group on Facebook, and I got a couple other groups. Anything I post up, you're going to see below it, hashtag release the Snyder Cut. I'm going to refer to something that Zack Snyder showed, something that Zack Snyder's about, because we definitely do not want this opportunity to pass up. We want to make sure, ensure that Zack Snyder's cut, that is, when we say Zack Snyder's cut, you know what I mean. That cut of the movie does come out. We don't want it to come out. They need to, if they need just 1 year to get that movie out, fine. We're going to give them till 2019. But at the end of the day, we are pushing now for the Snyder Cut, and we're pushing hard for the Snyder Cut. All right. I got a lot of other DCEU news to talk to you guys about. Shazam, and you saw some of my videos on Shazam and stuff. And we need to back up David Sandberg, all right, who's the director for Shazam. Also, we need to follow, if you guys aren't following him already, follow the two co-stars of Shazam, all right? That movie's going to be lit. I can tell you that right now. I realize that already. Just looking at what they're doing and the dimensions of this dude. Man, Zach Levy, man. That 6'3" guy is bulked up, man. He is bulked up. That dude is ready to, you know what I'm saying? I can't wait. I've looked at a couple fan cuts, by the way, Zod Rider. I looked at a couple fan cuts of Justice League. I looked at them, and it annoyed the crap out of me. I'm not going to lie to you, because the music that they keep on using, and a number of those fan cuts, this is the other thing that annoys me. They still borrow from Danny Elfman's soundtrack. They take some of Danny Elfman's stuff, and then they toss in randomly, I feel, that's my belief, may not be so, they toss in randomly Junkie XL stuff. the first thing you need to do is if you're going to do the Justice League fan cut, you got to get the tension from the sneak peek trailer that Junkie XL was using. You got to use the music that Junkie XL was using from the sneak peek. Then you're going to have to borrow music from the other trailers. That's what you really want to do. And the Wonder Woman, like the Wonder Woman music they use, when they use it, it's just, look, y'all got to understand, Danny Elfman is an award-winning composer, okay? What Danny Elfman did is, shit, I even lined it up with what Junkie XL did with the Man of Steel theme. And I watched that, what Danny Elfman did with that doom, 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 doom. And I'm looking at that, I'm saying to myself, God damn, Danny, you're crazy. Because the stuff that Danny Elfman did, you know, because we didn't expect it, you know, the different feel and certain things in his music were kind of reminding us of the MCU. But at the end of the day, all you people who agree with me on this one, that soundtrack for The Flash, that musical score for The Flash, that was crazy. That was crazy, man. The Flash's motif is crazy. Now he goes and he takes it and he puts this kind of marvelous like ending to it. I don't like when he does that, but and then he could also go straight into the comical aspect when he was facing up with Superman. But I'm not gonna lie to you, the musical theme and the musical score for The Flash is dope as hell. It's dope. You know what I'm saying? It's dope. And then when I listen to